He has delivered keynote speech at national and international conferences, written books and articles, and received research and community grants totaling at impressive RM 3.6 million at the time of speaking. I hope it's increasing soon. Additionally, Dr. Chin has shared his knowledge and holds esteemed certifications in computational thinking master trainer and also IEEE seniors. He has also appointed as an assessment panel member by prestigious organizations such as MQA and MBOT. We are honored to have you, Dr. Chin, with us today to share your valuable insight into the transformative potential of artificial intelligence in education. So, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, please join me welcoming Associate Professor T.S. Dr. Chin Kim On. Welcome, Dr. Chin.
Right. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for Mr. Aminuddin for the introductions. So please allow me to share my screen first. Right, are you able to see my slide? Anyone? Mr. Aminuddin, are you able to see my slide?
Yes, doctor, yes.
All right, good. Okay, wait, why the animation does not work? Eh? May I know whether you are seeing the full screen slide or you are seeing my presentation slide? I mean, presentation view.
We are looking at it, Doctor. Your presentation slide is on right now.
The full screen, eh?
Yes, the full screen.
Okay. Right. Is it moving now? Because I'm having two monitors. I'm not sure whether and they display different thing.
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. I assume that you can see my screen and my camera view. Okay. Again, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar. I'm going to share about the teaching and learning using generative AI tools for this morning. And thanks for PEP, our Pusat e-learning, for your invitations. Okay, so what I'm going to share with you is first, we have to correct our mindset about the terms used for generative AI models and generative AI tools. After PEP have posted the brochure, the poster, some lecturers meet me and then found that the terms that we use a little bit confused. Okay, so I'm going to correct it and then I'm going to explain what is it about the generative AI. So next we will look at the why we want to use generative AI in teaching and learning, follow with the KPT or JPT stand about this application of generative AI tools in Hi, anyone? Yes. All right, I hope you can mute your mic. And then if it's not related to these conversations or webinar, if you have any questions, you can stop me anytime and then you can ask questions. All right, next is about the generative AI tools for teaching and learning. I will introduce you a number of generative AI tools that I hope will help you in teaching and learning activities. And I will give 3 examples of using the generative AI tools in teaching and learning. Then I will share what should we do and what we should not do. And next, we will follow with the challenges that we may face, either lecturers, students, or universities. And then we will talk a little bit about the future trends of AI in education. And lastly, we will go for a little bit sharing about universities' roles. So first thing, what is generative AI? Okay, before I explain to you what is generative AI, let's fill in the Q&A form. So please scan the QR code and answer it. Are you able to see the QR code?
We can't see the code, Doctor.
You can see the code.
It's a blank screen, I think.
Right. What about now?
Yes.
All right. So it's maybe there is a little bit technical issue with the Microsoft Office form and the integration of the PowerPoint. Sometimes the internet speeds or whatever will cause that to be happens. Okay, but please, if possible, scan the form and answer it. There should be 2 questions. I've shared 2 questions for this short exercise. We have 16 responses so far. $18 responses so far. Any more? All right, 20 responses. Oh, about 2 responses say no for this question 1. Okay. Any more? We go up for 24 responses. All right, it's okay, it's fine. Just so let us continue. For the first questions, we found that most of the participants, I would say 90%, more than 92%. Okay, 92% of the participants already know what is generative AI tools. So you assume that you know what is it. Okay, after later on, after I explain to you, maybe you will found that that is not really what you think of. And next, we go for the second questions. You said that, oh, all right, majority said ChatGPT is a generative AI tools, 36%, highest one. And some of you, you know what is Gemini. Okay, very good. You pick 80%, and then Grammarly, 40%, Quillians, 9%, Quizlet, 12%, Microsoft 365 Office, 4%, Adobe Photoshop, 4%. So for those who experience using Microsoft 365 Office and the Adobe Photoshop, maybe you already know the generative AI functions that have been integrated in these 2 software. That's why you pick this. All right, it's okay. It's okay. Thank you for the response. And let's continue. All right, next. Since you say that you know what is generative AI tools, okay, I have to first tell you that what is generative AI and what is the difference between generative AI tools. If you really study in the machine learnings, you will find that actually tools is not a model. It's totally different. And when we talk about generative AI, how it works, it is just combinations of many formulas, mathematical formulas. And after we have generated all of these mathematical formulas, and then we come up with solutions where computer scientists can fit the data as input to the mathematical formula, and the mathematical formula can calculate the differences, the variance, and then it slowly improve the data inside its own data and produce the outputs. So throughout many generations of learnings and trainings, then slowly the data can fit, and we say can understand, can generate what we want. This is the model. This is what we call AI model. And I'm not going to explain the GANs, ways, autoregressive models in detail because this is a little bit technical part. If you really feel interested with that, please feel free to join any courses related to machine learning. Okay, but first you have to make sure you're really interested with the mathematical models, and then only you join. Otherwise, don't waste time because it's not that simple, not that easy. Okay, and another way how this generative AI model works, we can assume that let's say computer scientists have created a robot that having a brain, but this brain is like a baby, newborn baby that knows nothing. Right? Knows nothing. So we feed all of the informations to this newborn baby, and the newborn baby will learn from time to time from the mistake, from the correct informations, and later on generate its own knowledge so that it can talk, so that it can write, and so on. So that is the concept of generative AI models. Okay, not all of the tools and models available is categorized. I would say not. I cannot say that. I would say that the models and tools are two different things. Okay, so when computer scientists release the model to the words, they didn't explain it in detail, technical detail, so that the public confused between the models and the tools. Okay, so what is these generative AI models can do? So far, the applications can do is text generations, and the image, video generations, music and audio generations, and lastly is about code generations. So if we refer to the text generations, means that it's related to language, because our text will be combine all of the words, it will become a message. All right. So the computer learn that, and then it able to communicate with us. So actually, in terms of communications, it understands each of the terms clearly by referring to the inputs and the outputs. All right, so we call it as language model. And when we go for image and videos, music, audios, that's referred to multimedia model generations, and people still working for that because it's quite complex. It's quite complex. And text and code, actually, they are same category. If computer can understand about text, definitely they can understand about code. All right. So I'm sure most of you already tried for ChatGPT. That's why you are familiar with these text generations and you have selected ChatGPT as generative AI tools. But if you refer to the actual term, you will find that models and tools are different. Model itself comprised of various algorithms, and it learned a lot. It learned a lot. That's why it can communicate with us. So it's like a robot. They can chat with us. Okay, its function is not, it shouldn't be limited. Now ChatGPT, if you are a ChatGPT user or subscriber, you will find that you can chat with it, and then it can generate image, it can understand image and video for the latest versions. I'm not sure how true it is. I still haven't tried for that. And then tools means that other software embed certain functions from this AI model to complete the task. So that is what we call as a tool. It is not a pure model, but you cannot talk with the particular software. All right, you cannot talk with the particular software. So you have to know how to differentiate them. One is tools, one is model. So models, much more supercomputer, or much more super real compared to the tools itself. Tools is limited for functions. So there are a lot of tools available now. If you aware about that, they try to subscribe to the generative AI models, and then to help or to assist the particular software. Okay, so so please try to differentiate it. Okay, next we go for why we want to use generative AI models or tools in teaching and learning. All right, let's answer the survey again. Okay, I try to show it in such a way because I know that the Microsoft form is having technical issue. Okay, please scan the QR code and let's answer the questions. All right, I need about 10 to 20 responses if possible. Also 2 questions. All 11 responses say that you already use generative AI models and tools for teaching and learning purposes. Very good. Okay, 1 say no, 2 say no, 4 because 10%, about 10%, two say no. Oh, more than that. Okay. Oh, all right. 70% say no out of 28 responses. Okay, that's great. Okay, next, I'm using generative AI models and tools for teaching and learning purposes. For content generation, that is great. Okay, for assessment preparations, less. We have only 40%. And then we have lecturing, tutoring, lab sections, activities, 23%, and other purposes is 25%. Meaning that almost 5 to 6, 7 responses use it for other purposes, maybe for research purpose. I'm not sure. All right, that's great. I just want to roughly know whether our participants have actually used generative AI tools or models for teaching and learning purpose. Okay, and maybe after that, you all can share about your thought as well or experience in using the tools. Okay, next. So why we have to use generative AI tools? I divide the perspective into 2. One is lecturers, another one is students. If you look at the lecturers part, we found that these charts represent our workload, weekly workload or semester workload. We have teaching and learning. This is the most basic lecturer tasks. And then we have research, okay? We have admin, community services. So some of you may not involve with admin tasks. Admin over here, usually we will assume that it is related to KP, head of program, department deans, so on. But if you are a coordinator, it's also considered as admin. You're helping the faculty for managing the programs or activities and so on. All right. So it depends on the post. How heavy is that? And then last week or last 2 weeks, I have conducted one training for the MOOC when I showed these to our lecturers that our tasks, teaching and learning, including content preparations, assessment preparations, and then lecturing, tutoring, lab sessions, mentoring, and supervisions. So I assume that we will spend about 10 hours per week for just teaching and learning tasks, and most of the participants do not agree. They have shared a thought that lecturers spend more than that. All right, it is not surprise. It depends on how many subjects that we are handling per semester. Like me myself, I handle 2 subjects, programming, quite a big class. So lectures already go for 4 hours. Lab sessions, 1 subject, 2 lab sessions, so go for another 4 hours. Total 12 hours per week. This is just for teaching and learning, meaning that lecturing, tutoring, lab sessions simply go for 12 hours. So how about content preparation, assessment preparations, and then mentoring, supervisions? Definitely, we spend more time over here. So if that is the case, how are we going to complete the rest of the tasks, isn't it? So for those who are new and join the university or teaching new subject, probably for that particular semester, you have to spend most of your time in here because you have to prepare the content, especially based on the table 4. And then you have to prepare the first set of assessments. And then you have to conduct the lecture, tutoring, and sessions. Definitely, or simply, it will go for 50 to 20 hours per week. But if this is not the first semester you teach a particular subject, it shouldn't be that heavy. Okay, you already have the content. What you should do is you just update the content. All right. So why we need to use generative AI tools? We wish that with the generative AI models and tools, we combine them, if we can shorten or reduce the time of preparing all of these teaching and learning workloads. And if you have subscribed to certain tools, for the generative AI models and tools, maybe it will help us also for the research purpose. Okay, and also if you use the right tools, definitely it will fasten our process to the admin tasks. Okay, next about students part. Students, we know that students now can access to any resources online, anytime, anyway. Okay, if you realize that basically library main function or actual function does not exist anymore. Previously, during my study era, we go to the libraries to borrow the books. We study there with friends, discuss, and then we stay over there per day. Sometimes we stay for the whole day until night time. It's like the place where we study and access all of this information. But now in the digital era, we found that it does not happen anymore. Okay, students, no matter where they are, as long as they have the right devices, they have the right infrastructures, they will be able to access all of the information, isn't it? So that is the advantage for our learners, okay, current learners. And next, we found that there is one term called personalized learning have been introduced very recently, where it shows that now, if we have 50 students in the class, we know that all of the students will have a capability, different capability in learning. Some of them a little bit fast, some of them a little bit slow. So we can customize the learning. Okay, if we found that students are weak in one particular chapter, we can adjust it. We can simply adjust it based on what we know, because we are the subject matter expert. We are the SME. You are the expert. You are lecturers, isn't it? You know what to teach. You know what to deliver. So we can personalize it. We can customize it to fit the students' requirements, or not requirement, to fit the students' weakness, and then also make sure the skills that they have learned is the skills that required by the industrials. So we can personalize it, okay, customize it. And also in our class, if it is possible, we want to go for interactive learning now rather than just talk in front of the students. All right. And lastly, of course, we want to improve practice skills. If we found that in any program, most of the subjects are having more than 60% of cognitive assessments. But that is not the industrial needs. Okay, if okay, I'm just sharing my own internship visit. I have visited 7 students during end of February this year, and then from the industrial feedbacks, I found that they no longer require very knowledgeable students. Okay, previously before COVID, when we visit the industrials, they always demand for first grad students. I mean, fourth students or first class honor students. Okay, they will tell you that, okay, Dr. Chin, next round you please send me how many students, maybe 3 to 5, because usually I will ask how many students that they need for the internship so that we can support them. Okay, we have a long collaborations with these certain industrials. So now they don't need that. They will say that you just give me second upper is good. All right, I want to make sure that they have the skills to program. Right. They never mentioned about, I want someone which is very knowledgeable. Why? Because we already have the existing tools like generative AI models, ChatGPT. If the managers do not know about the issues, just simply Google it. Just simply use the tools. Okay, use the models to answer it. But that particular models cannot fit to the industrials to create programs that they want. I am a computer scientist. Teaching in Faculty of Computing and Informatics. So my students are related to computer science fields. Okay, so maybe your students also having same situations that you have to meet the industrial and ask in detail what are the skills that they require, so that we can produce some sort like industrial demands students. Yeah? So we have to improve their practical skills, which is very critical. Okay, next is about our framing Malaysia higher education's 4.0 concepts. Okay, if you have read the particular documents, can't remember how many pages. Okay, it shares lots of information, and one of the information is very clear, showing that first thing is students felt bored by traditional lecturers in the classroom. This is true. This is true where if you are lecturing, okay, when you talk with the students for 2 hours, you will find that actually students only can focus for the first 50 minutes. Then most of them, I don't know, they really cannot concentrate. They really cannot focus on our talk anymore. Okay, totally different with a decade ago when we study. Okay, I still remember that when I was young, when I study, I have to prepare my own notebooks and I will focus 100% focus to the lectures so that we don't miss any point. We know that that is the only resources we can get. Okay, the second resources or information that we can get is library. We go to the library to borrow the book and then you study yourself. But you have to understand there are so many books there. How can you learn everything within one semester, isn't it? So we rely on the lecturers to share the most important point. We grab it, okay, and then we try to remember everything, including coding itself. But now, situation changed. The situation has changed where accessibility is the advantage, okay, for our next generations, for our young generations. So they can access any tools now. They can access any knowledge now, everywhere, anytime. So in the lecture, we should not just talk, right? We just should not just deliver our notes, read from the slides. They complain. They will complain if you read from the slides. So what should we do is, probably in the first half an hour, we share about the content, we share about some important informations, and then next we will ask for group discussions and presentations during the last 30 minutes, so that we can attract the students' attentions in the lecture, in the class. We do more activities rather than talk and talk and talk. And the next thing is say they manifested 8 seconds of attention span compared to the goldfish with 12 seconds. This is a little bit, the sentence is a little bit over, but it is true that it shows our students can't focus. This is what it means. Our students can't focus and then they will easily forget the information. All right. But the issue now, as I said just now, shall we produce knowledgeable students or skillful students? Okay, all these while, what we did, we produce knowledgeable students. We try to produce students that can remember everything. Everything means everything. Huh? The lecturers share 3 books. The students should be able to remember every single sentence in the books. This is ridiculous, honestly. Right? This is not the industrial needs. That's why industrials complain and they post it in the news that Malaysia or the universities have failed to produce the skillful workers that they need. Right? We failed. And I do agree with that because we only assess the cognitive part. We do not access much on the practical parts. Right? In our concept is, as a lecturer, students should remember everything, then only we can know whether they have learned. But now technologies comes and the way how we teach and think should be changed. Okay, because the industrial demands also a little bit different already. They need more skillful person rather than knowledge, because knowledge can become from a robot, a computer, and they can reach it anytime now. And I love this image shared by our GPT. Next, what will be happen is this, as I highlighted over here, educator as resource guide and learners as a teacher. What does it mean over here? This is nothing new for me, but I'm not sure whether this is new for you. In 2016, after I have joined MDEC training, MDEC provided a training for a number of lecturers in UMS and other universities. So they already mentioned that for next decade, means that almost 2026, okay, the term of lecturers and teachers could be does not exist anymore. Okay, why? Because during this time, internet is so superior, information can be accessed anytime. So what is the purpose of having a lecturers? So the terms change to maybe facilitator. We facilitate our students to reach the information, to study, and to improve the skills. Okay, that's why over here in this picture it said educator as resource guide. Okay, we know where to find the right resources. There are so many resources now. Okay, if you go for just ask ChatGPT, it will tell you what are the resources that can help you to teach for this subject, and then you go for every pages, every website to search for it. But there are so many. Which one is the most comprehensive? Which one is the most suitable for you? Which one is the most suitable for students as well in the industrials? We, as the subject matter experts, we should know all of this, how to guide the students so that they don't have to learn everything. All right, but they focus into something they can fit the industrial needs. That is the point. And then the second one is about the learners as a teachers. Over here means that after they have learned something, they're going to share their thoughts. They're going to share their informations online. So they become the next teachers. Okay, they will teach their own groups, student-centered learning, and then they will share the knowledge as well. All right, so that is the reason why we have to change and we have to learn how to use generative AI tools and models, okay, in our teaching and learning activities, not only for our tasks, but for our students, for the next generations, okay, for the youth. All right. So what is the KPT and GPT guidelines or their stance? Did they agree that we can implement generative AI tools and generative AI models in teaching and learning, or they do not agree? Okay, they have come up with a garis panduan. Okay, garis panduan is a manual or guidelines. Okay, about how to apply generative AI in our technologies in our teaching and learning activities. So as a summary, if you have the time, please read 50 pages, just 50 pages. Okay, I'm sure you can do it in a half day to understand the content, everything. But as a summary over here, it's mentioned that it encourages the use of generative AI tools and models in teaching and learning activities. Either we prepare the content, prepare the presentations, assessments, activities, and so on. Okay, that is the summary. But when we use all of these tools or models, we have to make sure that there is no integrity or plagiarism issues. All right, I hope this is clear, which means that our KPT GPT already approved it. We can do that, and we should use the tools correctly. Okay, I hope you get this. And next, I will share with you about the tools. There are quite a number of tools. If you Google it, you found that there are more than 100 of tools available. Not all of the tools are suitable for teaching and learning. So I filtered them and then I proposed the one I'm using, so that I hope that with this sharing, you will be able to assist you to improve your teaching and learning activities. All right, and then and so on. All right, first, we talk about the content generation tools. I'm sure most of you know about ChatGPT because ChatGPT, OpenAI team, they have promoted ChatGPT very well. Okay, and then if you know the story, the history, you will found that the first version was released during 2018, if I'm mistaken, and then they slowly improve it. So before COVID, it means that before COVID, they already released the first versions, but they do not have, they do not do proper promotions about these tools, okay, about these models, sorry, right? And then in 2000, they start to promote, okay, and they've successfully attract the public attentions about using ChatGPT, okay, which is very superior models that everyone should use, okay. And next, after Google know about it, right, they released the Gemini. Previously, it doesn't call as Gemini, called as Bard, B-A-R-D, bard.google.com. All right, now they rebrand it to Gemini, and then this Google model was released in year 2022, if not mistaken. So what can these models do? Right, first, it can help us to create the content. Okay, when we want to create slides, we want to create a webinars or whatever for speech or presentations. Okay, we can use these two tools to create the content. But for those who are teaching a new subject or those young that new to teach a new subject, okay, I strongly advise you not to use ChatGPT and Gemini first. Why? From my past experience, last year, I'm not talking about this year. Last year, when I want to update my slides and create the slides, I found that some of the informations provided by these two models is a little bit outdated. Okay, because I don't subscribe to the ChatGPT, I don't access to the latest content. All right. So because I teach, I repeatedly teach the previous subject, so I know that, oh, this information is missing. ChatGPT didn't share it. All right. So for those who are new, please refer to some book first. Okay. Identify those books that are suitable for your subject. Then refer to the book and the slides given, because some of the publishers, they have provided the slides. So no harm to reuse the slides for first semester teaching. And then slowly we improve it. When we improve it, then only we refer to the ChatGPT and Gemini. Okay, because with that, we already have the prior knowledge of what we should deliver. Then only you know what to improve. Okay, then only you will know whether the content provided is correct or not. Okay, so please aware of that. And then the second one is content update. So for those who are teaching same subject every semester, you may refer to the ChatGPT or Gemini to grab the information, latest informations, and then update it. All right. If you're teaching same subject, you will notice that sometimes it's very difficult to get the right textbook, because not textbook, reference books. Reference books also slightly outdated. Sometimes we have to refer to journals. Then only we can update the slides, isn't it? But with Gemini, okay, you can access to the latest informations. If you have subscribed to the ChatGPT, of course, you also provide the latest informations that will help you to update the slides. At least our students won't be so outdated with the content. And next, it will help us to do group discussions and presentation as well. So if you have some activities, or you love to conduct activities for group discussions and presentations, you're welcome to use these two tools. It will help the students to strengthen their knowledge, basic knowledge, and then improve the weakness of their activities. Okay, I will later on share you the example how these two tools, these two models help us, okay, into teaching and learning. All right, next we go for presentations. I'm sure most of you know about Canva, okay, but actually for me, I can't use Canva and Beautiful.ai. These two are very powerful tools for presentations. Why I can't use it? I'm having difficulty of choosing symptom. I can't go for a software that have too many templates. For me, this is good. Of course, it is good that the particular platform provided so many templates, so many interactive tools for us. Okay, resizing the image, resizing the text and everything. But it will waste my time. Okay, because normally after I created the slides for first, second, third slides, when I go for the next slide, I found that maybe I can use other templates so that my slides can be improved. I'm having that symptom. So end up, I found that it's wasting my time. Okay, that's why I don't use it. But for you, if you are those very, how to say, you don't have any issue with difficulty of selections or choosing, then maybe you can go for these two. All right. And then another one issue is about payment. If you want to fully access to all of the features and functions, then you got to pay. All right. So for me, I still stick to Microsoft PowerPoint rather than all of these four. Okay, I still stick to Microsoft PowerPoint because Microsoft PowerPoint also consists of generative AI functions. Okay, if you realize that first, it will be able to generate background image now based on your title or subtitle. All right, for this example, my backgrounds, I didn't create that. All right, I just create the first slide, the main slide, and I insert my title, big title, and then during the design tab, it will propose lots of these templates for me. So I only have to select one. Okay, so with the template, it comes with its own font size, and then yeah, with the background images. Okay, so I don't really have to spend more time in designing designing the template or designing the PowerPoint slides. Okay, where I can focus into the content. All right, and furthermore, university already subscribed for the PowerPoint, Microsoft PowerPoint software. So why don't we use it? All right. And with these tools, we found that it is our task to slides creations. Okay, especially for the layouts, and then the content you have to prepare. Okay, layout and the designs. All right. Yeah, beautiful design, so that we can have a great presentations. Okay. I'm sure most of you familiar with this software, right? Okay, next we go for images and graphics. Not sure how many of you aware that we have a Midjourney. Midjourney, previously it was given free. Now I'm not sure. I seldom use it anymore. And then free pick. You can try with free pick. It's very interesting. Okay. And last week or this week, I can't remember, that ChatGPT announced that they have proposed that they have upgraded the ChatGPT to version 4.0. Right, and then my colleagues told me that we can now generate images for this. They are using this ChatGPT. I'm not sure how true it is. I didn't try. Okay, he told me. So after this, I will try. But all this while, I use Adobe Photoshop. Okay, and Photoshop is given freely to all of the lecturers as well, especially UMS. Other university lecturers, I'm not sure, but in UMS we subscribe to Adobe software. So after you have downloaded Adobe Photoshop, you will find that they have a new features, okay, where we can generate image. Right. If we have time, that extra time later on, maybe I will show you how to do this. Okay. What you should do is, usually why we need to generate image, because we want to insert a particular image in our slides so that we can use it, isn't it? So for those who are artists or teaching arts, probably you have no issue with that. It's easy for you to generate an image. You can create it, you can draw it yourself. But for others, maybe a little bit difficult. Let's say you want to find an image with lighthouse next to the beach, and then the beach having few I'm not sure what object that you want. All right. So how are you going to generate that? We are not artists. We are not good in drawing. It's impossible. So we have to find it from the internet, right? So usually when we find it, we have to talk about the common creative, this issue, that issue, plagiarism, so that we can use the particular image. Okay, that's fine. Now, with these tools, what you can do is find one image that you think is much more suitable for you, okay, but having other extra object then you do not need. So download the image to your drive, and then open the Photoshop, and then read that particular image and remove the object. Okay, you can do that now. Remove the object or replace the particular object with another object. But there are a few concerns that we cannot change the face, simply change one person's face, and then because there is issue, you know. What can you do is referring to object. Okay, so it will help us to generate image faster for our presentation purpose. Okay, for other purpose as well. So the function is create images from text. Okay, you just type it, and then it will generate. It will insert or it will remove. Okay, and of course for fast content generations purpose. Okay, you can consider this one before you go for free pick. All right, next we talk about questions and guidance. Well, I'm not sure whether you're aware that we have a software called platform, not software, platform called Quillians, Quizlets, and Open Learning. Open Learning is like iTel. Okay, Open Learning is like iTel. Previously, it was free to use, but now no more. Okay, where you can join as individual and then you can share your courses. But if you want to use the full features of Open Learning, then you have to pay for that. Okay. Actually, there are sales manager came to the university and proposed it, but I'm not sure whether university what is the next plan for university, whether we will subscribe for the Open Learning. But if we subscribe, we already have the iTel, so it sounds like redundant. But what is the difference over there is Open Learning. In Open Learning, there is a functions that use AI to generate quiz. Okay, where you don't have to generate the quiz. You don't have to generate any questions at all. You only have to prompt AI to create questions based on the topic, and you check whether the particular questions is related to your topics. If yes, you can pose it. Students can do it. All right, and then we have Quillians and then Quizlets, which will help us to create questions, and it will show step-by-steps of process how to solve the problems to our students. So actually, it's questions generator that can auto-generate questions, all right? And it's AI-powered learning platform with a tutor and chat box where if you don't understand or the students do not understand, then they can ask, okay? So I have tried Quizlet before. I want to study about this topic. It's like a chat box, okay? I type it, I want to study about this topic. Please generate 5 questions. Then it will generate the chat box will generate the questions, and then I have to select the MCQ, which one is the correct answer. And after I select the wrong one, it will give me the feedback. If I select the correct one, it will give me the answer. Okay, that's fine. And then it will tell us slowly we can improve our learning using these tools. Okay, but again, this is not free. Okay, the tools are not free. All right, next is about academic writing. For those who are using ChatGPT and Gemini to help for your research writing, maybe you should consider move to Lumina and Write Full. Okay, previously typeset was used to set our format our paper to the right template so that we can publish in that particular journals or in the particular book chapter. So it will save our time. But now they already improve it, slowly improve the functions so that it is more useful, like Write Full and Lumina. So what is the difference? If you use ChatGPT and Gemini, okay, I used it last year. I'm not sure about ChatGPT 4.0 now, whether it can do this or not. But previously, when I post an introductions, okay, in the ChatGPT, and I request for a list of references, all right, or citations, it failed to generate what I want. When I double check, I found that the particular references does not exist, and then all the statement is not correct. Okay, but with Lumina Chat and Write Full, basically it will help us to generate where is it, and then it will refer to the correct one. All right, I have a colleague that love Lumina Chat very much, so he wrote all of his publications very fast now due to the Lumina helps, where you have introductions, you just copy and paste the statements, and then it will help you to find where is this particular facts from. Okay, then we don't have to spend most of our time to find all of the documents. Oh, I read this before. Where is it? I read this before. Where is it? So previously, our students have to print out all of the readings materials, and then they have to highlight it. Okay, and then when they want to cite the particular paper, they have to find, oh, where is this statement? Who said it before? Okay, we have to cite it correctly, isn't it? But now Lumina Chat and Write Full help us, okay, a lot. So it will help us to enhance our academic writings. It will check the grammars, it check the sentence structures issues, and then check the facts as well. It will help us for paraphrase and summarize a certain content, and then make sure the fact checking. Okay, this is one of the important features, okay, that have been provided by Lumina Chat and Rightful. Right. For those who have subscribed to ChatGPT, maybe you can try, okay, and compare whether Lumina Chat is better or ChatGPT is better. But honestly, I use ChatGPT. I don't really satisfied, okay, when I use it for academic and research writing. Okay, any questions so far? Am I too fast? Okay, so I will continue. Next, we go
Yeah,
for grammar and
I think can you
vocabulary.
proceed?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Amanuri. All right, next we go for grammar and vocabulary. This one, I'm not sure whether you are familiar with this. It was proposed in 2014 or 13, I can't remember exactly. Okay, we always use Grammarly and Quillbot to check our grammar, our writing, and then it will help us with vocabulary improvements and so on. Okay, you also can consider about ChatGPT and Gemini, but if you read some articles, Google developers complain that ChatGPT failed to generate good grammar statements or writings. Last year I read that. Okay, but now ChatGPT improved from time to time. All right, so I don't put that's why I don't put the pro and cons. I only put the functions in my slides, because later on, if I share this, or maybe I'm not sure whether this webinar is recorded. If it's recorded, it's good. But if I share the slides with pro and con later on, they may look for me and say that Dr. Chin point is wrong. Okay, but it was outdated. They improve from time to time, isn't it? So better don't put the weakness again in the slides. So first one is grammar and spelling corrections. Okay, it will help us with that. And then style, writing style and tones and vocabulary enhancements. Okay, so you can consider using these tools and models for your teaching and learning activities if you want to emphasize more on the grammar and vocabularies. But there is one issue if you want to use it for research writing. So why? People now aim to AI writing. They tend not to accept any articles that generated by AI. It is true. We should not just ask AI to generate the content and then we publish it and claim as our word, which is totally wrong. Right? But what I did before, I used Grammarly combined with Quillbot. We found that they propose different use of grammars and vocabularies. Even though I post same abstract, there are little bit difference, okay, of the suggestions given by Grammarly and Quillbot's ChatGPT or so. And then I correct it. I send for editor. Editor claim that it is AI generated. It is not my content. Okay, so I'm not sure how they detect it. They say that he claimed that it's 99% content generated by AI. I don't want to fight lah. I use Grammarly to improve the grammars and the vocabulary, but the content I write it myself and then I post it. But when I post it to one of the software, which is this one, Lumina Chat and Rightful, they detect that only 1% of the content is AI writings. So how come the editor said that it's 99% AI writings? Maybe the editor having another tools to check for that. So is that still valid if we use Grammarly and Quillbot to help us to improve the grammar and vocabulary for research writings? I'm not sure about that. Okay, we have to figure it out soon. Okay, next we talk about the maths and equations. Well, I introduced you about the Wolfram, Alpha, and the Symbol Lab, Photomatch, and GeoGebra. These 4 platforms or generative AI tools will help you. Okay, will help our students to learn as well. That you can use it for your lecture and tutorial class. Okay, it provided interactive lessons where it will show step by step instead of we explain it, repeat and repeat and repeat. Why don't we let the students to use the platform and then students learn from the platforms? Okay, it will show step by steps like animations, how to solve the mathematical problems, how to create the graph. so that from that will ease our explanations. It will help us to ease our explanation, and it provide step-by-step assistance. Okay, so what is the major difference between these 4 generative AI tools? I found that PhotoMates is very interesting, where if you write it on paper for your formulas, you have to write it properly lah. Tulisan doktor tidak boleh terima. Okay, it cannot recognize if your writing is too advanced. Okay, you have to write it properly, and then you can capture it, you can pose it in the PhotoMates. It will analyze the questions, and it will be able to solve for you. Okay, this is the extra functions given by PhotoMates. The rest, you have to ask the questions, you have to propose your equations, and then it will generate the questions. Okay, so how are we going to use this? Because all of these tools will provide the steps to our students, isn't it? So students will learn nothing in that case. It will rely heavily on these generative AI tools. All right. What you should do is, in the tutorial class, okay, you should pose the questions to the students first. Let them solve it in a group, or maybe solve it individually, probably for the first 30 minutes. And then the next 30 minutes, you can ask them to compare their answer with these tools. All right, see what is the difference. Okay, this is one example that I can share. All right, next, if we go for examples of using generative AI in teaching and learning. I have shared so many tools. I have shared so many tools and the models itself, just 2 models. So how are we going to use it? All right, first example. Let's say if we are teaching programming subject, you want to evaluate the students' programming skills. Okay, this slide actually is related to my own teaching and learning activities, where I just tried it this semester. Okay, I share my story here. How we as a group of lecturers teach programming subject previously. We deliver the programming syntax, okay, and knowledge to the students. We tell them that, okay, this one is this one, this one is this one. You must insert this line of code so that you can do this. And then what is the function of this line of code? So during our assessments, we always assess whether they can code. This is the claim, okay, whether they can code. But if referring to the table 4, you will find that our CLO started with understand the code, and then apply. Apply means that apply all of the syntax to solve the problems, okay? And then lastly, to correct. So level 2, level 3, level 4, and level 6, 2, 3, 6 of the corrective. So where is my practical part? Okay, so we tune it. The correct one, we go for practical part. You also can do that for the apply, change it to practical part, where we want the students not only to remember the code. Why? Previously, we don't have many resources, so that lecturers force us to remember that you must remember this particular code, so that when you type it in the IDE, in the software SDK, okay, you will be able to generate the right code. Then it will generate less compile errors. But now, if you realize, most of the IDE already come with capability to detect the error itself. It will tell you that this line is missing 1 semicolon. This line syntax is wrong. Okay, the suggested syntax is A and B, which you want to choose. I would say that the functions, the packages developed by developers is already mature, where the SDK and IDE tools can guide the programmers to develop the programs, okay, to create the programs easily. And the industrials don't want a programmer that can remember the codes. They want a programmer that is creative, having the skills to code. So we should change from 60% connective, now reduce to 40% connective. And the practical part, 40% increased to 60% or 70%, so that we can generate or we can produce students that industrial demand, okay, industrial needs. So how I did this in my class, I come up with the lab test. I allowed the students to use ChatGPT, okay, or any generative AI models or tools to help for the coding. Of course, my question is not easy. Okay, it's not asking about what is this syntax about, or what will be happen if you change this syntax. No, I will straight away go for level 6, create a program. All right. So with this, we will help the students to learn how to create a program, but using tools. And then, how do we evaluate? If that is the case, ChatGPT already provided the answer, isn't it? How do we know that whether the students have learned how to code? They only have to learn how to prompt. Students will learn, okay, the question is required to create a software or programs to convert Fahrenheit to Celsius. And then they enter, ChatGPT will give the code, isn't it? So how are they going to learn? We want to make sure that they learn, meaning that we want to make sure they understand what are the codes that have been generated by generative AI models. So how I asked them to create the UML diagrams based on the codes. I asked them to generate the flowchart based on the codes. If you have understand the code, then only you will be able to generate these two diagrams. And end up, I found that this is very, very useful way. I found that most of the students do not understand the codes. Okay, ChatGPT will give different answers for different prompt. So even though the question is same, but the answer is different. Right? Then the students must generate the UML and the flowchart based on the coding. If they do not understand it, how to solve it, right? So end up, I asked them to present. Okay, you have these ChatGPT results, you have these flowchart, you have this UML. Now present to me how your coding works. Then I evaluate. I evaluate based on the Rubik matrix. Instead of line by line checking the code, now we change the evaluations based on Rubik matrix. These students understand how to prompt or not. Because when they leave the university, go to the industrials, they're going to use all of these generative AI models to help them to coding. Again, no one control them anymore. Industrial want fast results. They don't want the knowledge. They won't listen to your students for the presentation that, okay, this code I changed to this one, this code I changed to this one. Now I have optimized it. No, industrial want to look at the final outcome, right? So we have to guide our students using the right tools, using the right way, and learn the right skills, right? This is what I did, first example. And then the second one, for those who are teaching a language subject, probably PPIB lecturers. Okay, if you want to, let's say if you want to guide the students how to write good essays, the first thing maybe you can go for group discussions. Give a topic, and then the student discuss what are the points, what are the key points that should be included in the essay. Okay, we have the beginning of the sentence, we have the second point, third point, fourth point, and then what is the conclusions. So then next, we ask the students to compare the essay points, right, that they have discussed with the input and comments from the generative AI tools or the AI models. Okay, to see how far is the difference between the points and the GAI tools recommendations. All right, let's stop over here. Next, we ask the students to complete the essay based on what they grab from here and concludes. And then we ask the students to compare again. They are writing with the generative AI models, writings. Okay, we want them to know whether the particular sentence clarity is acceptable or not. Is there any grammatical errors? And then what about the writing styles? So from that, slowly slowly students will learn, oh, this sentence in such a way, I should write my sentence in this way. Okay, my vocabulary for this sentence is too limited, I should change it. Slowly students will improve their writing styles. All right, this is the second example I can give. And then the next one, for those who are teaching in art schools or any subjects related to color theory. So previously, I'm not an artist. I'm not good in coloring and design. I only know about the primary and secondary color. So if you ask me to draw something, honestly, I will create a terrible combinations of coloring for you. Okay, an image that if you ask me to create an object or draw an object, just simply scratch it is okay. But if you want me to input the color, then end up you may found that it's rubbish. Okay, so not all of the students will be able to understand the contrast. What is the contrast and how important is the contrast? What you should do is, after you explain the color theory, maybe you ask the students to complete their artwork, okay, by using the colors that they prefer to have, right? And then we compare the images generated by generative AI models or the tools. Okay, what is the purpose? After they generate based on this, so you have to give a theme probably, okay, for the artwork, and then they can generate the image, then compare. So how to compare? As a lecturer, maybe you can talk about the color, contrast of the colors. Okay, if you have an orange, what is the right background color that will show the differentiate lightning, coloring, so that the object will be much more, how to say, attractive. Okay, not good in elaborating about the colors. And last, explain the weaknesses and strength of the artworks. So we can do that. Okay, with this, you can generate activities that is suitable for your teaching and learning that's related to the color theory. Okay, any questions so far before I continue? Okay, so that is the 3 examples that I can share with you. And if you have more, you can share it to me as well, so that we can gather all of the ideas and help other lecturers to improve teaching and learnings using generative AI models and tools. Okay, next, what should we do and what we cannot do, all right? Do's and don'ts. So again, let's try to answer this. Excuse me for a while. Think properly, yeah, about this question. We have 18 responses so far. Any more? All right, 18 only. It's okay. 19. Oh, maybe internet delay. Suddenly we have 33 responses. Thank you for the inputs. Okay, let's analyze the statements one by one. Which of the following statements is or are correct? Okay. The first one is, I can directly insert content generated by AI tools into my presentation slides. So we have 40% of responses answer that yes, it is true. Actually, it is true. You can directly insert the content, but there will be issue, okay, because we do not know about the copyright of the particular content, right? And then probably because AI models learn from existing data. Okay, so some of the facts is not AI on thinking. It was given by other researchers, and AI just mimic them to create the particular facts or statements. Okay, if you simply use it, yeah, you can use it, but if possible, don't simply use it. You simply modify it. Okay, you can modify it and then insert the content into your presentation slide. That will reduce the risks and problems. Okay, same case with I can directly use image and videos generated by AI tools. Because AI also learns from the existing data. Okay, and I'm not sure whether there is any coincidence that AI will generate exactly same image that other artists generated or other companies generated. So if you do not know about the copyright, so better don't include the image and the videos in your slides. Okay, if you want to insert, then you make sure you stated where is that particular image from. All right, so there will be no copyright issue. Okay, don't claim that is your own image. Okay, and the third one, I can generate questions for quiz, test, final exam using generative AI tools. You can generate the questions, but if possible, modify it. Okay, don't copy and paste the exact question and test and then pose it. After all, they could be copyright issue as well. All right, they could be copyright issue as well. So back to the statements, whether it's correct or not, all statements are correct, but you have to take risk if you directly copy and paste. Okay, so there is a reason why I include one slide, which is do's and don'ts. So we check out this slide. Okay, what should we do? With all of these tools now available and the models, first we should encourage for students' explorations, where we should let the students know that this tool exists. Okay, so they are not outdated, but we should guide them for personalized learning and lifelong learning. Previously, I always told my students that Google is the best teacher. If you do not understand, go for Google. The second teacher is YouTube. Go for YouTube. But nowadays, I found that actually YouTubers generated wrong videos sometimes. Okay, yeah, because they just want to boost their clicks so that they can generate money. And then some of them, they have posted wrong video. All right, wrong guidelines to the students, to the learners. Okay, so still, YouTube video is not really that trustable nowadays. Okay, except it's referred to some university. I believe the YouTube videos, the YouTuber is trustable. Then it's okay. So we should encourage their lifelong learnings and personalized learnings. All right. I have a group of students which is very they love programming. Three students love programming. When they join my class, they are the most active students, but they always ask something at once when I teach the particular topics, right, where other students don't understand. So I tell them after the lecture, first and second lectures, I told them that During the class, I know that you're already a little bit advanced because you are interested with this subject. I guide them, you go to this particular website. Next week, we are going to discuss about this. So if you don't understand about that particular topics, you can ask, okay? But if the topic is next class, then you can ask me personally or come to my room. Don't ask in the lectures, because if I answer in the lectures later on, the students will be confused, okay? Other students may confuse. So we can do something like that, okay, for the personalized learning. And we have to be creative to create our assessment nowadays. Don't just simply based on cognitive based on knowledge, okay? We force the students to remember. Last decade is good, okay? Previously, we don't have technologies to guide us, to help us. So we have no choice. We have to deliver the knowledge in such a way that everyone should remember. Okay, but now with technology, students can access information anytime, anyway. So we have to change the way how we access the students so that we can build up their HOT, higher order thinking skills. Okay, rather than just remember. Right, and then we can prepare comprehensive teaching and learning materials. As I mentioned just now, when we first time we teach the first subject, that particular subject, we should refer to some books, and then we follow the informations given by the books, the particular book, so that students can refer, and then we have the complete slides. But if next semester or in the future in teaching the same subject, we should update the slides based on the latest informations. So the generative AI models can help us, okay, to provide comprehensive teaching and learning materials. And then we should have interactive learning. So interactive learnings could be doing any activities, or could be doing some interactions with the students. Like just now, I use a Google Form, not Google Form, sorry, Microsoft Form to collect participants' information. Okay, and then I can post the results. So in the lecture as well, you can design in such a way that after a short topics, maybe 15 minutes, then you pose a question. All right. So to grab the student attentions and to understand, to know that whether they understand the previous topic or the next, what is their knowledge about the next topic. Okay, we can do such a way for interactive learning. And then we can have intelligent feedbacks now and the assessments using the generative AI tools. But this is the most concern. Please do not copy and paste the contents, questions, answer generated by the generative AI tools or the generative AI models without validating the contents. Yeah, because last year I tried it before. Really, some of the content is wrong. I'm not sure how about the latest model, but previous model give some wrong information. So as a subject matter expert, you should be able to validate that. Okay, so don't simply copy and paste the content, and then don't claim and publish the content as well, which is illegal. Okay, later on you will be caught. So please don't do that. What I did, how I use generative AI models to help for my assessments preparations. Let's say I want to prepare a case study, okay, but I don't know what is the story to start the particular topic. So I ask for ChatGPT suggestions. Please suggest a case study for this particular topic. All right, so it generates the particular information for you, and then after that, I read that, I modified it. I modified so it fit to my topic, because ChatGPT is not us. It will not know what you want actually. It will just simply generate based on our prompt. And sometimes our prompt may not correctly prompt what we want. So with that, just simply modify it, okay, using your own sentence to create the questions, and then ask for suggestions, okay, ChatGPT suggestions or Gemini suggestions. They are very good to suggest out of the case study. So use it correctly. Okay, next we go for the challenges and impact. I divided into 4 subtopics. One is technology readiness, another one is educator readiness, public endorsement, ethics, and social implications. So we first go for the technology readiness about accessibilities. As I mentioned early, students now having handphone, having notebook, having internet connections. Okay, so they can access information anywhere, anytime. That is the statements that I provide just now, which is true as well. But depends on area. I'm sure most of you know that we have students who climb trees to access internet in the kampong areas, right? And then due to the technology that they use are different. So maybe the internet speeds a little bit different as well. Okay, so even though accessibility infrastructure has been provided, but still there is a little bit challenge over there. Same case as now, I'm giving webinar, all right? We found that all of the lecturers that join these sessions or participants that join these sessions, okay, you have the internet accessibility, but maybe on your side, there is a little bit disturbing technical issue that slow down the internet, where you lost some part of my presentations. Okay, maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes. All right, that could be the issue. And the second one is about digital equity. I'm not talking about digital equality. It's impossible for us to achieve digital equality, but digital equity should be achieved. Okay, what does it mean over here? We should provide digital tools or accessibilities based on the needs. Okay, for an example that we know government is good. They support our B40 students with notebook. For all B40 universities with not 40 B40 students with notebook. But for those who join my class, okay, last semester I teach VR and AR that they require 3D modeling. So for those who receive the particular notebook, they don't have the particular CPU to handle, the graphic cards to handle the rendering. Okay, but for those who are able to have better devices or high-end, high-spec notebook, they are able to join the class and then they are able to see the rendering, right? So this is what it means. Okay, we should we cannot solve this, but this is the challenges. Digital equity. We found that students having notebook, but notebook spec are different. So one can see the rendering, another one cannot see the rendering. So this is the challenges. Okay, next is about educator readiness. University should provide trainings to all lecturers so that they know about the generative AI tools, related tools, and then the models, all right, how to use it correctly, how to apply it in the teaching and learning activities. Okay, this is not a workshop, so I cannot show you one by one this software, this GAI tools, how are you going to use it. Okay, like Adobe Photoshop, just now I said that we can modify the image. So how Dr. Chin, I cannot imagine how then we have to go for another workshop. Practically, we do it together, all right? And then we should design the curriculums, okay, which is relevant to the industrial needs. So it's not easy because industry change really fast. They have to grab 72 hours technology change. But in the university, students, we stay over here for 4 years. So how about our curriculums? We have designed table 4, and then when the particular 4th year students learn the content in the table 4, they could be a little bit outdated, isn't it? So we have to update the content. That's the reason why now KPT asks for flexible curriculums. Okay, and then next we have to go for teaching and learning training. Okay, teaching and learning training for the pedagogy, how to apply the right pedagogy in teaching and learning, like computational thinking, design thinking, okay, interactive learning, right, assessments, and then we have to change the mindset as well in the training for educators so that they are ready to use technologies in teaching and learning. Okay, we have to provide infrastructures. This is also another issue. some of the lab may not have sufficient computer, or maybe the computer is a little bit outdated, or maybe the internet speed is not fast enough. So these are all of the challenges, okay, that for the educator readiness and student readiness. We have to change the students' mindset, where we cannot post videos in the lectures for the 2 hours and the students will complain you. But during the lectures, you should change the way how you teach, where after certain slides, okay, you found that you need a video so that students can understand. So you post the video, but have to make sure that the video is very short, maybe 1-2 minutes or 3 minutes. And students, you have to correct their mindset. Besides learning in the lectures, and then they also have to learn themselves. Okay, so changing mindset is not easy, because if I don't know how to elaborate this, but we have to change the students' mindset, okay, so that the students can cope with the latest teaching and learning way. All right, and then we have to engage the students, doing more activities rather than just talk from the slides. All right, and then we have to customize our teaching and learning topics. Okay, so the students that are good, they can study further, go further, but then we don't evaluate them because other students may not be able to join the particular sessions. Okay, and then lifelong learning, we also can should encourage them go for lifelong learning. And last topic is about the ethical and the social impacts, plagiarisms. Although in my webinar, I already told you about the do's and don'ts, I'm not sure in practically or in other lecturers whether they're aware about the plagiarism issues or not. This one is totally out of control. Okay, there's the reason why universities already come up with so many sharings about integrities in works, sharing about integrities, plagiarisms in research, and so on. All right, and I hope there will be no plagiarism issue up to the news, because that will actually how to say, influence university reputations. Okay, it will create a very bad reputations, okay, to the public. So don't do that. As a lecturer, we should know what should we do and what we cannot do. And we have to also how to say, solve the holistic education. We have to refer to the industrial needs so that we can achieve the holistic educations, meaning that we produce the students based on the constructive alignments. But the particular knowledge, when the students graduate, they should be able to map the industrial needs. Right? So these are the challenges involved. Okay, so now how about the future trends in AI for educations? I love this image posted in by the KPT. Okay, first thing is about the learners as connections and makers, and the learners as content producer and sharers. Before ChatGPT have been released, you will found that you can ask any questions in Google, and there is one website called Overstack Flow. I can't remember it's Overstack or Overstack Flow. All right, where if you have any issues, you can post over there, and then other learners will post their situations, and then they will post their idea as well. So this is what it means by learner as content content producer and the sharers. They share the informations. So this is the future, and it will be continuously happen, because now students can learn themselves and then can share the informations anytime, anyway. All right. And the next one is information can be accessed anyway. So sooner or later, university may not exist anymore. All right. Yeah, because why? Students can now access to ODL, can access to MOOC, can access to micro-credential courses. And then in the future, probably university will be closed, where after maybe 20 years old, students finish their matriculations or STP, they will join the working industrials. And then if they really love the particular job scopes, they want to go for further level or next level, then they can take some online courses and then graduate and certified. All right, due to this on open access to information. And then what is next? Next is about this. I already explained the educators as a resource guide, so I'm not going to explain again. And next one is the web as curriculum. Okay, the university is moving into this. All universities are moving into this where we should start. Okay, to post our course online. And in UMS, PEP is doing well, where we focus on ODL, all right, open and distance learning, so that those workers, if they really want to go for another level, they can study themselves. Okay, and then we also have OER, okay, open education resources, and MOOC courses. All right, and some of the lecturers are working into micro credential courses. So all of these we are moving into here, the web as curriculums. Okay, so that any learners can access information online anytime, anywhere. Okay, that is the future trend. As a universities, we have some roles. Okay, university first role is about academic. We should provide some training and support to the lecturers so that the lecturers know how to use the generative AI tools and the models correctly in the teaching and learning practice or activities. And then we should encourage them as well about the personalized learning, interactive learning, and lifelong learning, so that students won't complain they feel bored in the class. And then, yeah, no one will sleep in the class. Okay, at least we create some, how to say, interactive learning environments to our students. All right. And then for research purpose, yes, we can use the generative AI models and tools to help us to fasten our research publications, to push our publications. Okay, and then we also can study about the generative AI tool applications and its impact in education. So after lecturers apply the particular pedagogy and teaching and learnings using generative AI tools, so what is happening? Is that giving a pro and cons, okay, to our society, to our students, all right? And then we assess the effectiveness of using the tools. And lastly, top managers' roles. Top managers must make sure that the training and support given to all of the staff and lecturers, not only webinar to share the general information, but workshop should be conducted so that we learn together how to use the particular model and tools correctly to help us, to assist us in teaching and learning activities, to research, or maybe to improve our admin tasks. All right. And of course, lastly, we have to create a policy to control about the plagiarism and integrity issue in teaching and learning activities, of course, including the research as well. All right. So that's all from me, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chin, for a very interesting and uh, 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 talk just now. And I found that it is very interesting that we should move towards the implementations of GAI in our teaching and learning. And I am somehow found that what you have mentioned earlier, that as a educator as a resource guide, that is the most interesting part that we should play our role in UMS, in line with the MyHE 4.0, learner as connector, creators, and constructionists. And before we end our session, so there's a questions that I like to read for you from Puan Razima Hanim Osman. how can we possibly know the image generated by AI, such as a Mojo AI or any apps in Canva, is 100% can be used to our personal or public use?
No, we don't have. Thank you for the questions. We don't have any tools so far to detect that. That is the reason why, if possible, image generated by AI should be somehow modified again before we use it.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah.
And then I found that
totally agree.
yeah, when last year when I joined a conference, one of the participants also used an image generated by AI, and he put the citations at the bottom parts, thanks to the GAI models to generate this image to assist me for the explanations of this and this. So maybe that will reduce the risk of copyright. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Although that we of course we found that when we generated image from prompt, and the second image, or the second person who are using the same prompt might get a different image. So do you think that it also cater as what you has mentioned earlier, that we need to acknowledge that blah 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 under the image, Dr. Chin?
Yes, because there is no way for us to know but whether the particular image, the generated image, is having copyright or not. So that is the issue. To play safe, I would suggest you put an acknowledgement about that, so that there will be no
Mm.
issue. Okay, when you use the image. But if you want to use it in publications, I strongly disagree with that. Okay, because publications talk about novelty and plagiarisms, they highly emphasize on the particular issues. So don't do that. Okay, for publications.
Yeah. That would be wise advice from you regarding the use of AI, and I think we also need to educate our student, or make it awareness that the danger of directly use whatever that been produced by AI. Although some might argue it that well, to have it done in the to get it generated by the AI, it requires another level of cognitive, that it is our effort to create the prompt, that is our cognitive level to create the prompt. So that is the novelty of the whole thing. So it started from there. So what do you think about that one? It's not the image. The image is actually came from the prompt that has been generated by the human cognitive level. What do you think about that, Dr. Chin?
Still, it's too risky that if we simply claim an image is our own product. Okay, so if it is possible, don't simply claim it is as your own. You can put it into slides, but you have to somehow acknowledge where you get the image from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because
Thank
we
you so
cannot.
much.
The issue is we cannot access to the directory that people already copyright the particular image. We don't have the list for that, right? Yeah, so we are not sure.
Yeah,
So we are not sure, honestly. And then we are not sure how the generative AI model learn to generate the image. So probably just coincidentally, I'm not sure. Just coincidentally, the generated image is exactly same as others, then you will be caught. So to play safe, don't do that if possible.
Yep. Thank you so much, Doctor. So, we have another question here. Is Jenny AI from Dr. Honkai? Is Jenny AI a good tool for writing a research paper compared to Lumina Chat? It's another
All right, it is a very good question.
Yeah.
But it is not suitable for us to discuss now because it is more on the research part. Madin already instruct me to have another webinar or workshop which we focus on the research. Okay, so in that particular, I welcome you to join the particular workshop or webinars during probably end of August. Okay, I need time because I have another partner which exploring all of these research tools. I myself, I explore on the teaching and learning. He himself exploring on the research one. He really love to use all of these two in research part. So yeah, we will go for that sessions. All right.
Mhm. Yeah, yes, we are not stopped here at this point. There are a lot of uh, in the future there will be more
Yes.
webinar and workshops and forums that we will organize to cater this AI things here. So if any of the participant has questions, you may switch on your mic and directly ask Dr. Chin, or you can just post them in the chat box so that we can read it for you. Thank you.
Yeah, anyone, don't feel shy. We are learning together.
Yeah.
Okay, as I've mentioned to my colleagues that don't feel surprised if what I have shared today will be outdated next week or maybe tomorrow, because
Yeah.
technology change every 72 hours. Okay, and when I prepared the slides, I completed last week. Actually, I did not know that the ChatGPT will release the latest version, right? And now the ChatGPT already released the latest version, which is 4.0. And I'm not sure about the actual functionalities or advantage of using that. As I said, don't put the pro and cons first, because they improve from time to time. Okay.
Yes, this is another question posted by Dr. Vinila. How about if only one or two sentences or only one paragraph was used in the whole of the journal paper from AI? Can we ignore it, or do we still acknowledge those sentences as obtained from AI? So this is something to do with
Research part.
the issues of plagiarism and all those things. If you are looking it in the wider perspective, yeah, Dr. Chin.
Yes. Okay. So for research wise, as I've mentioned that we have some tools like Turnitin to check for the plagiarisms. They also provided the tools to check for AI generated content. Okay. So you have to make sure that the AI generated content is very low. But I also share with you just now in the early of the speech that I have generated my own text, and then I post it to Grammarly to improve the vocabulary and grammars so that the structure of the sentence sounds much more good in the other sense.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when I sent to the editors, he claimed that it's 99% generated by AI. I also don't know whether the editor tests it or he just simply want to reject my paper with such how to say statements. Okay, but anyway, back to your questions. One or two sentences is okay. It's just fine. Okay. After all, how all of these tools generate how all of these tools they know whether the particular statements is generated by AI. It depends on the patterns. Everyone we have our own writing patterns. Okay, ChatGPT and Gemini also have their own writing patterns. So someone created models to read all of the text generated by ChatGPT, and then they claim that the particular patterns come from ChatGPT. This is how it works. Okay, so one or two sentences included to your writing is okay.
Ya, sudah siap. Harap dapat 3 lah.
Hello, anyone?
Is someone talking?
Yeah, someone want to share or want to ask?
Yeah, back to that explanation, Dr. Chin. So yes, what I understand from your explanation just now, that patterns in our writing, our structures, plays a very important role for let's say Turnitin to detect other edits from the chat AI generated or not. But to be safe on that one, I suppose Dr. Vanilla have to pay attention to the structure, and all of us should pay attention to to the structure, and well, to me, the what has been generated from the AI is just the idea that help us to come up with our own sentence structure, so that we are writing with the same flow from the very beginning until the end.
Yeah,
Uh,
and you have to make sure that you don't insert the fact that have been generated. Okay, if just improve the grammar and vocabulary, then it's fine. Okay, but not the novelty or the facts.
yes.
Okay, from the AI. Yeah? That is very how to say, risky.
Yes, we are almost towards the end of our program, our very interactive program, I suppose, and we hope that we will meet soon again in the next program that we have planned for everyone on the generative AI tools. For all the participants, if you are looking at the chat box, there is an attendance and feedback form. Kindly fill up the form, and we will apply for the IPD point from PEP to those who are attending this webinar. And final words from Dr. Chin before we end our webinar this morning.
All right. First, thank you for the PEP again for the invitation to give this webinar. All right. And to the participants, what I want to say is for those who are young, I know that you are trying to adapt all of the technology changes. Okay. For those who are senior, somehow we have to learn how to change, because this is talking about evolutions. Okay, evolution of educations. And in year 2016, I already see this after I joined the MDEC courses. They come up with Education 4.0 that highlighted what should we do for the next 10 years. If you have read the blueprints on the documents, we found that we are in the right way. Okay, but as an educator, we are in the front line, like an army. Okay, we should first change, then only we'll be able to help the whole Malaysia community to move further. All right. I know that some of you may say that I'm going to retire a few years from now, but don't think in such a way that don't think about you yourself, but think about our next generations. Okay, change the way of teaching and learning so that the youth will be able to adapt to the changes, okay, to the revolutionaries. So not only in the university itself, I changed the way how I guide my students. Now at home, I'm one as a father, I'm in charge of my daughter. My wife in charge of my son. Okay, we give one task for each, so that the workload is balanced. Just to share. So I changed the way, instead of teaching the old style schools teaching my daughter, I use my latest style to guide my daughter to learn. Okay, I found that it's quite effective. At least they can generate more ideas, and you'll be surprised that how come the youth can learn that particular skill themselves. All right, so always make sure that the youth go to the right directions, because there are so many informations available now, and they do not know how to filter. Okay, not only the youth, UMS students also same. In your class, if you have 100 students, okay, we should guide them through the right resources so that they know what to read, what to study. It's not too burden for them. It's not too stress to them. Okay, and we have to make sure that they are more skillful rather than more knowledgeable. Okay, why? I just estimate that maybe next 5 years to 10 years, you will find that we can have our own robots just stand next to you. Okay, we don't need a big one. Maybe imagine that there is an owl just stand next to you, okay, on your shoulder. You can bring it anyway as a toy. Then it can communicate with you. Okay, for psychology parts, we can talk, we can have a friends now, all right? But if you do not understand something like an object, a flower, a leaf, you can ask. Then it will tell you that it will be able to scan, capture the image, and tell you what is that. All right? So the technology is there, the knowledge is there. We can grab it anyway. And we need the skills so that to fulfill the market's needs. Okay, that's all from me. And again, thank you for joining this sessions.